Hello, everyone. Welcome to Josh's Boxes. My name is Josh, and today I'm very excited to talk about this book right here. So, in this video right here, one of my favorite YouTubers, Professor Dungeon Master from Dungeon Craft, has declared that July should be Independent RPG Month. And I definitely agree with this and wanted to contribute a little bit. And I thought it'd be a great way to start out a series I've been wanting to do for a long time where I test drive lots of different RPGs, talk about their character creation and their encounter preparation and everything like that. And so I thought this was a great way to start. And I wanted to start with one of my favorite independent RPGs, the Mecha Hack. It's by just a wonderful independent RPG company called Absolute Tabletop. AbTab is one of the best. Just a small group of guys who love RPGs. They have really good YouTube channels that they don't really post on anymore, but they're still cranking away on AbTab, making really, really good stuff. They just recently had a Kickstarter based on the Mecha Hack that got over $100,000. So just they are making really great products, and I thought starting with one of their favorite products of mine was a great way to start. So the Mecha Hack, as you can see, is a super slim rules-like game. It's based off of a game called the Black Hack, which is just like trimmed down original D&D with a roll under mechanic. But Absolute Tabletop took that game and turned it into a mecha game. So you can see just a little bit of the internal artwork. You've got guys piloting big old robots, fighting other robots or big aliens or whatever. So it's like the classic mecha genre kind of thing. Really, really good artwork. And today I wanted to start by test driving the system and making a character. So I want to hop over to the character sheet and I'll walk you through the process of making a character. This isn't meant to be a tutorial. I'm not going to teach you how to play the game, but I do want to show you what it's like to create a character in this game. So it's a test drive, not a tutorial, if that makes sense. So let's hop over. Okay, so here we are on my PDF of the Mecha Hack. And I will hop over to the character sheet. This is what the character sheet looks like. As you can see, let me zoom out a little bit. It's like definitely kind of fits into that like robotic, mechanical theme that the mecha have. So that's really cool. This is the character sheet that I got from backing the Mission Manual Kickstarter. So if you download the Mecha Hack, I'm not sure if you will get this character sheet or the other 2-page one, but either way, the character sheet, as you can see, is very simple. There's 4 stats. There's places to put your abilities. So let's kind of go over what all this stuff means. So like I said, I'm not going to be giving a tutorial, but I will link a really good tutorial down below by Dave Thomavor. Just 3 minutes long because this game is so simple, but I'll go over a little bit of the basics just so you can understand what I'm doing when I'm making a character. So the core mechanic of this game is it's roll under. So that means that, let's say, I had like a 13 score in power. That means I take my d20 and I want to roll under 13. So I just rolled a 15. So if I was trying to do something power related, like pushing over a building or shooting at someone or whatever, I would have just failed. But had I gotten a 12, then I would have succeeded. So that's the core premise of the game, is using your 4 stats: power to attack people or push stuff over, use your strength, mobility to dodge or to hide, systems to like scan or to perceive, and then presence to interact with other people. So those are the 4 attributes. You have a score in each of them, a number between 3 and 18, and I want to try and roll under that in order to succeed while you're trying to do that ability. What you need to play is just the standard 7 set of dice with the D4, D6, D8, D10, D12, and D20, and then percentile die, I guess, if you need it. And then just the rule book. You don't need the Black Hack to play this game. This is a complete game in itself. It's just based off the Black Hack. So if you've got either the PDF or the physical book, that's everything you need to play the game. along with the dice set and like a character sheet or a piece of paper and a pencil and stuff. I will also link the AbTab store where you can buy the PDF and the physical copy in case you're interested in getting this game. I would highly recommend it because it's awesome. Yeah, so the purpose of this game, like I said earlier, you are piloting a giant robot to fight other robots or giant aliens or go on missions or whatever. So it fits in like a sci-fi genre. It's very similar to like Gundam or Transformers or Robotech or things like that. That's what this game is inspired by. So to make a character, your character is comprised of two parts, the chassis and the pilot. And I can show you, I'll go through, the artwork is so good. It was Runehammer that did these, super great YouTuber, and he did the art for this. I love his style so much. So let's go over to, actually, it's hyperlinked. So we can just go to building your mecha. Wabam! And here's all the steps. As you can see, the entire character creation process fits on one page. Like, that's so nice. It's not, 10, 20, 50 pages of stuff like other popular games. It's just like everything you need is here. And then you just go to that specific, like, oh, you need a pilot. Here's the pilots. You need the chassis. The chassis are just a little bit further. Like, it's just so nice how simple this game is. So to create your pilot and mecha, do the following steps. You roll for attributes, choose a pilot and their record, which is like their history, a little bit of a backstory kind of. Choose a chassis, which is the type of giant robot that you're piloting, and a call sign, which is the name of your giant robot. And then choose starting modules. These are like add-ons to your mech, and then buy equipment if you didn't take the starting equipment. So we're going to do just that. In order to roll for attributes, we do 3d6 down the line in order: power, mobility, systems, and presence. So I've got my 3d6, so I'm going to roll just down the line like it says. Okay, so the first one for power is a 10. For mobility, I've got a 12. For systems, I have a 9. And for presence, I've got an 11. So nothing stellar there. All of those are pretty average, but that's okay. If you rolled higher than a 15, you have to do that. But I did not roll higher than a 15, so I don't have to worry about this 2d6 plus 3 rule. I can swap any two attributes of my choice. So, I mean, obviously you can swap any of them. You're not going to go to jail if you don't. But, if you're playing the game as written, you swap two of them. I don't have a particular mech in mind right now, so I won't worry about swapping those until maybe later. Next, choose a pilot and roll or choose a record. So there's 4 pilot types: Commander, Engineer, Maverick, and Quipster, at least in the this base Mecha Hack game. So your pilot type will give you boosts in your attributes. It's a +2 and a +1 in an attribute depending on which type, and then it also gives you an ability. So the 4 types fill pretty broad categories. Let's see, I have written here. The Commander gives you a boost to power and presence, and gives you you can give someone else a free action. The Engineer gets a boost to systems and mobility, and you can sacrifice 1 AP to give, which is armor points, to give 2 health points to a buddy. The Maverick is kind of like the hotshot. He has they have a boost in mobility and power, and they can sacrifice their armor to do more damage. And then the Quipster is like the comic relief heart of the team kind of character, and they can like do an inspiring speech and then give someone else advantage. And they have a boost to presence and system. So I don't have a particular one that I want in mind, so I'm just going to roll a d4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, whichever one I get is what I will have. So boom, that's a 2. Engineer, cool. So I will go over to my engineer and type pilot under my pilot type, engineer. And then the engineer is just right here. They get a +2 to systems and +1 to mobility. Okay, so It looks like systems and mobility will be pretty important, so I might swap presence and systems. So I'll do 11 there and 9 there. And then he gets, what was that, plus 2 to systems, plus 1 to mobility. So that puts it up to a 13 systems and 13 mobility. Okay, that's pretty good. So our guy's going to be really good at perceiving stuff and hiding and sneaking and dodging stuff. Pretty decent at attack, maybe not the most charismatic guy in the world. And then the ability, use your action, reduce your armor points by 1 to restore 2 HP to a close mecha. The nice part about this is it's a PDF, so I can just grab it and copy and paste it. Boom, right there. And that's my pilot ability. I might make that look nicer really quick. There you go. There's my pilot ability. And that part, boom, is done. Next step. Oh, no, sorry. I have to choose a record. So the records are on the bottom. As you can see, this table, it's not like huge and massive, but it's kind of like a good, kind of diverse. You can be ruthless in combat or take pity on an enemy or be a child soldier or, the sole survivor of a horrific battle. So, like, there's some unique flavor that you can add to your character here. Again, I don't have one in mind, so I'm going to roll the d10 for it. And I got a 4. I'm an amnesiac. Much of my past is missing, but I remember how to fight. Okay, cool. Cool. Pilot record, amnesiac. Amnesiac. There we go. Is that right? Yep. Awesome. Level with just a starting character, so we'll start at level 1. And, okay, with the record chosen, now we go to Wabam. Choose your chassis and roll a call sign. So there are 4 mecha chassis in the game. You've got the Brawler, the Scout, the Striker, and the Titan. Very broadly, the Brawler is like up close and personal, likes to use melee weapons. The Scout is like quick and sneaky. The Striker is like a well-rounded kind of, and then the Titan is like the big, heavy armored tank kind of guy. I want to show you the artwork on these guys because it's so cool. So here's the Brawler artwork. There's the Scout. There's the Striker. And there's the Titan. I think just for the art alone, this game is worth the price. I think the PDF is $7. So, like, very reasonably priced. And just, it's so cool. The artwork is so cool. But specifically, the Brawler has an ability where they get like a higher crit. Like they can crit on a 1 or 2 because this is a roll under system. So a 1 is like a critical where you get to do extra damage. But they get to have a critical on a 1 or a 2. And they also have an ability where they can like jump forward to close the distance for someone because they're like a close quarters combat kind of guy. The Scout has an ability where they can do extra damage if they're hidden, and they have a different ability that lets them put on a cloaking shield that makes them hidden. So they've got a good kind of pairing right there. The Striker can re-roll if they get a critical failure, which is a 20 in this game. And they also can improve. They can spend a reactor die to improve a buddy's reactor die, which I did not talk about. Reactor die, essentially, every mech has a reactor die. Like the Brawler, for example, their reactor die is a D6. And what that means is certain abilities will ask them to roll their reactor die when it happens. And so you roll the D6, boom, I got a 6, so I would be fine. But if I had rolled a 1 or a 2, it downgrades to a D4. And if you roll a 1 or a 2 on the D4, then your mech is like overheated and you have disadvantage and stuff. So it's like a cool way to simulate having a reactor and like pushing it and overheating your mech kind of thing. And so the Striker has an ability where they can roll their reactor die to improve someone else's reactor. So, they kind of like reroute the power. So that's cool. And then finally, the Titan, they're like the big tank. So they have an ability where if they have a close by ally who's taking damage, they can just choose to take the damage instead and like jump in the way kind of thing. And they also have an ability where they can put up an energy shield and reduce damage coming in. So super cool. I think all 4 of them could provide a variety of characters. Again, I don't have a specific idea in mind, so I'm going to roll a d4. That's another 2, a scout. Okay, cool. So chassis. So this is the scout. Super cool. It's slightly covered up. I think at the very end they have a picture of just all the mechs that I want to show you because it's really cool. So there's the basic character sheet. Yeah, here's just a basic paper with all the mechs, and this is what the scout looks like. So all of them are just so cool, just so cool. So there's the scout in all its glory, and obviously, like, mine doesn't have to look like that. That's just an artwork. So let's go over to the scout and look at. So we've got a d6 hit die, a d6 damage die, and a d6 reactor die. So we do d6, d6, d6. So that means, when I need to roll my reactor die, I take the die with 6 sides and roll that one. And damage die, that's something that's nice, is every mech's damage is determined by the type of mech it is rather than the weapon that they have. So that simplifies it a lot. You don't have to have stats for every single weapon. So that's nice. So the scout does d6 damage and has d6 hit points. So let's figure out the hit points. So you roll 1d6 and add 4, 2. So that's 6 hit points. So not bad, not terrible, not fantastic either. That's okay. So we got d6 hit points. They're proficient with light armor, light weapons, and shields, which I'm not going to bother writing down. Leveling up doesn't matter because we're brand new. And starting equipment seems pretty good to me. I don't really want to look through the equipment to buy it. So I think starting equipment sounds good to me. And again, PDF is really nice. I can just take it and copy and paste it into my equipment. So I've got a dagger for close range combat, a revolver for range combat light armor. So that gives me 3 armor points, which I can spend to, instead of taking damage to my hit points, I can take damage to the armor points. So I effectively can take like 9 points of damage. So that's nice. And then a comm link lets me talk to my other mechs on my team. Okay, let's get these abilities. So ambush. You have advantage on attacks made while hidden and deal 1d6 additional damage. So we're going to want to be hidden all the time because it lets me do 2d6 damage, which is really nice. Boom, there we got the ambush ability written in there. In the cloaking field, I can use an action and roll my reactor die to activate a cloaking shield and become hidden. So that'll combo really well with my ambush ability. Okay, so there are the abilities. It's a little small. I could probably save space by just summarizing these, but I don't want to. It's just for a PDF, so it's okay. So, yep, those are my chassis abilities. And next, I roll a call sign, which is going to be the name of my mech. So, let's grab. You do 2d20s. Boom, 2 and 4. Wing Epoch. That's fine, but 4 and 2 is Gladiator 0. And, he's a scout. Maybe that doesn't fit super well, but that's a really cool name. So I'm gonna go with Gladiator 0. So boom, Gladiator 0 is the name of this mech. The person, let's see, I don't know if this is a boy or girl or not. So I take my d4. If it's odd, it's a boy. If it's even, it's a girl. It's odd, got a 3, so it's a boy. So we'll do he, him pronouns. Pilot name, let's name this guy. He's got amnesia, so maybe he just goes by like a first name. We'll call him Dodger. That's all that he remembers about his mysterious past. Okay, cool. Now let's head back to building your mecha. And all that's left is to choose a starting module because I decided to go with the starter equipment. So let's head over to the modules. Modules are like power-ups and add-ons that you can do. You've got offensive, defensive, and utility. So obviously the offensive ones will let you do more damage. The defensive ones will either give you more armor or let you heal. And the utility ones let you do cool stuff like, like jump jets lets you move super far, or like vehicle mode, you can transform into a vehicle literally like a transformer. And you've got like frag mines and a sentry turret and stuff. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna look through these. You can. I'm not gonna like read through all of them, but I basically have to decide if I want to like do damage, if I want to defend myself, or if I want to have some utility. I'm thinking I might choose a defensive one because my guy is a little bit weaker. He's got like lower hit points and stuff, so I might choose a defensive one. So I'll come back when I've decided which one I want. Okay, so I decided I'm going to go with the super reactor, which increases your reactor die by 1 die type. So I'm going to do module super reactor, and then I'm going to boost my reactor die to a D8 because my cloaking field ability has me rolling my reactor die, and I'm probably going to be using that all the time, especially with a mobility of 13. Like I'm going to be trying to hide and move around and dodge and stuff all the time. So a D8 will give me more, like a higher ability to use my cloaking field, and I think that's cool. So I'll go with the super reactor. But all the modules are cool, honestly. I don't think any of them are like lame. I think all of them are really cool. And that, I think, is everything. We've got the name and the stuff. We've got these on foot abilities. This is something that comes from the mission manual, which is a second book that they released for this system that has like more chassis types and more pilots and a whole bunch of pre-made missions and extra variant rules and stuff. Really cool. After I'm done test driving the Mecha Hack, I'll definitely test drive the mission manual because they're both really cool. And the mission manual adds a lot of good stuff to an already really good game. So, but that's where this stuff comes in. And this is basically just like stuff that your pilot can do when they're on foot, not in the mecha, and they get like a little bonus to stuff. But I'm not going to worry about that right now because I'm just using the Mecha Hack. So, something else that's really nice about this character sheet is you've got every rule that you need right here. Like this is essentially all the rules that a player needs, all of them. Like it's not every rule in the game, but it's like 80% of 90% even of the rules that a player needs are like right here up on the corner. So that's so nice. Like that's something that I really appreciate about all of Absolute Tabletop's products, what makes them such a good company. It's not only are they like really nice, really friendly people who, like they have a Facebook group that I'm in where they're just really supportive of people's efforts and stuff, but they also make really good stuff. Like this is so user friendly. Like it's very cleanly laid out. The game is really simple to understand. You can make this. I made this in like 10 minutes. I'm not sure how long this has been going, but 10-15 minutes to make an entire character. You're not going to do that in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. I promise that. You're not going to make a character in 15 minutes unless you're using like D&D Beyond or something, and you can just auto-generate all this stuff. But anyways, super friendly, super easy to make. Like they've put all this stuff here. It's just so helpful. Like you can tell that they put a lot of thought into how do we make this game good and the best player GM experience that we can. And it's just evident in the creation itself, how like passionate they are about making good D&D products or just general RPG products. So really good. I would love to, play this character in a game. I think like his abilities are really cool and his like amnesiac backstory is kind of interesting. And yeah, I just really like this game. Zeta points is also something that comes from the mission manual. It's essentially a point that you can spend to give someone else like advantage or a reroll or whatever. So won't worry about that. But this is everything. That's everything you need to make a character in Mecha Hack. hopefully, if you wanted, you could have followed along at home. Hopefully I went over like the different types of pilots and chassis well enough where like you can get an idea of what kind of character you would want to make at home. Like I said, I'll definitely include a link to the Absolute Tabletop store in the description below, so you can go and pick this up for yourself, because this game is fantastic, and I think AbTab deserves the support, and you deserve this good game. So definitely, highly recommended by Josh. But that's everything. This is a character. So if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below, or if you notice I did something wrong, please correct me. um, and if you like this video, if you're excited for this series of test drives, leave a like below. If you want to see me make an encounter for this on the next video, definitely subscribe so you can see when that next video comes out, because that will be the next test drive. Will be designing an encounter and adventure for Mecha Hack using the provided tools. So I'm excited for that. If you want to see me make more characters, let me know, because it's super easy and super fun. So I love making characters. Um, yeah, but that's everything. So until next time, ciao. They, it's just, three guys now. There was four.